The US may look like a bigger version of your home market, but it plays by very different rules. You have higher costs, stricter compliance, and tougher competition. Hey, Luka from CrossBridge here. We help product brands break into the US and we run their operations behind the scenes. And in this video, I want to walk you through a few misconceptions foreign founders have when they're planning their US entry. And I'm not just talking about the cultural differences or the small marketing tweaks, rather, the structural differences that determine whether you succeed through direct to consumer, retail, or both. Once you see them clearly, you'll understand that success in the US isn't about copy pasting your old strategy, it's about reimagining what scale and compliance mean in retail and what true customer satisfaction means in D2C. For starters, a common misconception is thinking that the US is one big, uniform market, when in reality it's fragmented in two ways, by region and by retail power. So regionally, US behaves like several different markets stitched together. The Northeast, South, Midwest, West Coast, each with its own culture, price points, and product preferences. A product that succeeds in California may flop in Texas, and what works in New York might not resonate in Florida. So you can't run a blanket strategy. To get traction, you need to segment your approach by region and treat the US as multiple markets under one flag. That fragmentation is compounded by the fact that retail power in the US is highly concentrated. In Europe or Asia, you might scale gradually, one chain or one distributor at a time, resulting in no single retailer defining your product category. In the US, it's the opposite. A handful of giants like Walmart, Target, Costco, and Amazon dominate most categories. One category's buyer's decision can accelerate or delay your market expansion entirely. If Walmart lists your product and it performs well, you can get national scale overnight. And these retailers, they don't just buy your product, they also dictate your margins, your packaging, logistics, and compliance. Think EDI systems, barcode accuracy, labeling, insurance, they're all mandatory. Another misconception is thinking that direct to consumer will be easier in the US simply because the customer base is bigger. And in reality, advertising costs are steeper across platforms like Facebook, Google, and TikTok. What might feel efficient in Europe or Asia oftentimes becomes 2 or 3 times more expensive in the US. And on top of that, US consumers expect more. So, fast shipping, free returns, and 24/7 customer service aren't perks, they're standard. So, if you don't deliver, fewer people will buy and more people will send products back. Fulfillment is also another part of the equation. Relying on a single warehouse, say West Coast, means slower deliveries to the East Coast. That doesn't just raise cost, it also leads to slower sales and lost customers. Another area brands often underestimate is legal and compliance. In the US, it isn't something you patch up later, it's part of your launch plan from day one. Depending on the category, you may face federal oversight. FDA regulates food, supplements, cosmetics, and even pet products. The FTC monitors advertising claims and consumer protection. And each state adds its own rules, from sales tax requirements to packaging and labeling standards, like California's Prop 65. And on the retail side, compliance is a prerequisite. Large buyers like Walmart or Target won't even start the conversation unless you've already met the baseline. Product liability insurance, FDA FTC clearance were relevant, and operational systems like EDI and ERP that tie into their supply chain. Even in e-commerce, compliance is a built-in. Platforms and payment providers can require liability insurance once your sales hit a certain threshold. And Amazon in particular enforces these standards aggressively. In other words, compliance isn't just legal paperwork, it's the gatekeeper that determines whether you can sell in the first place. So what are the implications on the strategy here? The real challenge isn't picking D2C or retail, it's sequencing them. Moving to retail before your operations are ready and you risk penalties and being dropped. Stay with your Shopify store too long and your road caps out while the competitors are taking shelf space. Cash flow also plays a big role. Direct to consumer eats cash on ads and fulfillment, while retail strains cash with long payment terms. Your financial runway often plays a role which path you can handle first. Alright, if you found this video useful, hit like, drop a comment and subscribe. It helps the algorithm show more people our videos and it helps us grow the channel. And if you're serious about expanding to the US, you can book a strategy call with me or my team, and we'll look at your product, your options, and build the right entry plan. In the next video, we'll dive into Amazon and why it's a unique hybrid between retail and D2C. So see you there.